है, प्रोफेशनल वगैरह वो सब तो चलता रहेगा,
Okay.
उसके
Hare
रिगार्डिंग
Krishna.
बताएं।
Welcome all of you all for our weekly Ramayan class. So we usually have it on Wednesdays, but today it's being Ekadashi. We have shifted the class to Tuesday. So welcome all of you all. Now we're just recapping of what we studied last time. We talked about what is real intelligence. People make a difference between skill and intelligence. But I was really shocked. One question no one asked. कुशलवतु धर्मज्ञो राजपुत्रो यशस्विनो भ्रातरो सर्व स्वर संपन्नो दृदृशा आश्रमिनो. In this shloka, I have explained to you before that Dharmagno, Rajaputro, Yashasvino. And before that, and after that, I have read Satu, Medhavino, Krishtva, Vedeshu, Parinishthito. So these are the qualities. He is Medhavi, means intelligent. And I told you the exam, what is the understanding of intelligence? One who knows just not the skill of earning your bread and butter. So इसका मतलब ये है कि क्या लव एंड कुश को कोई स्किल्स नहीं थे? दे वर नॉट यंग प्रिंसेस, दे न्यू आर्चरी एंड ऑल. तो ये कहाँ मेंशन किया है? The word yashasvino actually denotes that. In verse number 5, the word yashasvino जो है वो ये बताता है यश किसका होता है, who gets praise or recognition, किसको होता है? One who has some extraordinary skill. जिसके अंदर वो एक्स्ट्रॉर्डिनरी स्किल है वो जाके अपने आप को यशस्वी बना सकता है. So that's the very important understanding is, let's not consider our skill sets to be our intelligence. Skill sets, of course, is also a blessing of God, and you should use your skill set and you can earn your money. There's nothing wrong. But intelligence means one who plans for life after death. जिंदा जब तक है तब तक का तो बहुत सारे प्लानिंग चलते हैं, बट मृत्यु के बाद का क्या प्लानिंग होना चाहिए? What planning you should have after death? Sir, what we can plan after that? You'll be just lying as a dead body and the soul will leave the body. No, what you do throughout your life, the spiritual activities, that will end up as your main path. It will show you a path of what you are going to be the next birth. And mind you, you have to die, even if you want to become a resident of Vaikuntha or Goloka or your Saket Dham. All these are different lokas. So if you want to reside there, here how you behave, how you practice, how you learn, that is only can be, that has become your eligibility to go there. So Ravi, next verse 1.4.7. Okay. Anybody wants the Ramayan book can contact the group admin and collect the book, because many people will not be having this book with the shlokas. So you can collect the book from the admin. So Kavyam Ramayanam Krishnam Sitaya Charitamrita Mahat Pulastasya Vadhanam iti evam Chakre Charitavrata. Please read the translation. Verse 7.
Yeah,
Somebody reads.
Sage Valmiki, after observing sacred vows, composed the entire poem of Ramayana, which comprises the legend of Sita, the killing of Ravana, and so on. Should I continue?
Yeah, read the explanation also, Mataji.
Acharyas say that Ramayana is Sita Charitam. Although it mentions the entire life history of Lord Rama and Sita Mata, Lord Ram heard the entire composition which was sung by Kusha and Love. Since Lord Rama enjoyed the recitation from the two boys, it means that the Lord was himself relishing the story of Sita Mata in the Ramayana.
Why it is called as Sita Charitram? Here it is Valmiki himself is saying, I have written Sita Charitram. completely. Krishna means completely, perfectly, without leaving anything to be written. What does this mean? Once this is being talked to Lava and Kusha and Lava will recite it before the king. So what does this mean? This means Ramchandraji was listening. Do you think Ramchandra is a person who would like to listen to his own story? Ramchandraji is not a person. It is you and me who have got the habit of listening to our own glories. है ना? हम लोग यही बोलते हैं ना, देख मैंने कैसा किया काम, देख बुला बुला के सबको बोलेंगे, है ना? ऑफिस में हो, घर में हो, किधर भी हो, we will try to glorify ourselves. Whereas Ramchandraji says, this is not my glorification. The actual glorification goes to Sita Mata. So this is called as Sita Charita. And why it is called as Sita Charita? Because Ramchandraji heard the entire Ramayana. When the entire Ramayana was composed, what was spoken by Hanumanji in the Sundarakandam? When Hanumanji went to Lanka, there he also spoke the Ramayana. But it was not that which was composed by Valmiki ji. That's why this is called as Adi Kavya, the first ever poem ever made in this world. And that Valmiki clearly mentions that this is Sita Charitram and Pulastasya Vadam. Pulastasya Vadam. What does this mean? Pulastasya Vadam? Killing of Ravana. He was the son of Pulasya Rishi's lineage. He is coming from Pulasya Rishi's lineage. So that is why he is also called as Pulasya Vadanam, or killing of Ramayana. And that is the reason why Ramayana is also called as Sitayan. There is another word for that, like a terminology for that. It is also called as Sitayan. Please read the next words.
The Ramayana can be read or melodiously sung, as it is adaptable to music with all three types of scales and sevenfold tunes. It is so composed that it can be played to the tunes of various string instruments and rhythms.
So यहाँ पे 7 tunes बोला तो सप्तसुर बोलते हैं ना हम लोग, 7 सप्तसुर, ये सप्तसुरों में आता है. So what is the greatness of Ramayana? Pathe Gheya cha Madhuram. The word starts with this verse. The shloka starts with Pathe. Pathe means reading. Geye means, Gaya means singing. And that too kaisa? Madhuram, very melodious. So if someone wants to, recite this in the form of a story, all kavyas are actually in the form of a story, you know that. I mean, all your granthas. Bhagavad Gita, what does word Gita means? Song sung by the Lord. So but this is specially been poetically composed in a way that it can be sung on any musical instrument. It can be read also, it can be sung also. It is adapted to all the three scales, upper, middle, and lower, plus the Saptasur, that is the 7 tunes. It is also composed. It is so composed that it can be played to the tune of various string instruments and rhythm. वीणा में बजाओ, सितार में बजाओ, कोई भी string instruments में आप बजा सकते. Continue, Mataji.
The two princes sang this poem, which was full of various spiritual moods required for connecting with God. It consisted of spiritual moods, rasa, like mercy, comedy, anger, horror, chivalry, and so on. Explanation.
Now, wait. We will first try to understand what are these rasas. Few people must be coming for the first time. So let's get this understanding very clear. Rasa bhav means they are called as mellows, they are called as moods. हर कोई व्यक्ति भगवान के साथ किसी न किसी एक मूड या रस भाव में ही जुड़ सकता है. घर में भी हम लोग रस भाव में रहते हैं, you know that. Let's say, husband wife is there, the mother-in-law is there, father-in-law is there, full family, it's a joint family. And the boy, when he is behaving with his wife, it is in a different mellow, different mood. When he is behaving or interacting with his mother, his father, his brother, his sister-in-law, and his sister, n number of relations are there. and each relation has its own sweetness. So here, in that mood only, you get connected with your brother, sister, father, whoever it is. Now, यहाँ पे अगर आपको भगवान के साथ जुड़ना है, you want to get connected with God, how will you get connected? You are also one of the 12 bhavas are required. To mention the purport, Mataji will read further. But 1 minute, just before we go there, I want to explain this. So without this rasa bhava, भगवान के साथ आप जुड़ नहीं सकते. How many people understood this? Pakshit, can you explain to me this?
यानी किसी ना किसी जैसे किसी भी नए व्यक्ति से हम लोग मिलते हैं तो रिलेशन में यानी दोस्त या कोई ना कोई रिलेशन एस्टेब्लिश करके ही आगे बढ़ते हैं, तो वैसा आई थिंक वैसा उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में.
Okay. Anjana, would you like to add anything? Yes, fast.
अलग अलग भाव, सबके साथ अलग अलग भाव, जैसे आपने बताया कि वाइफ
अलग अलग भाव का मतलब क्या है? These are all not premeditated. They are all automatic. कोई भगवान के साथ एक कोई माता जी हो तो बोलेगी नहीं मुझे पुत्र स्वरूप में है, यशोदा मैया की जैसे भगवान को अच्छा लाड करेगी, गोदी में बिठाएगी, नहलाएगी, धुलाएगी, अच्छा मेकअप कराएगी, टाइम टू टाइम अच्छा बच्चे को पसंद आए ऐसा भोजन खिलाए. और यही अगर कोई साख्य भाव में हो तो he will behave to him with him in a friendly manner. You go to Vrindavan, you go to Jagannath Puri, they literally give hard words to each. They give एकदम कटु भाषा यूज करते हैं, which we generally will not do that. So you have to understand that through these moods only one gets connected. It may be awe and reverence also. भगवान आप महान हो, हम छोटे भक्त हैं, छोटे तुच्छ हैं, उस भाव से भी आप भगवान के साथ जुड़ सकते हो. या तो आप मैं भगवान आज सुबह से आपने खाना नहीं खाया, मैंने भी नहीं खाया, चलो अपन साथ में खाते, साख्य भाव या वात्सल्य भाव. सो मेनली देयर आर 5 रसेस. ऐसा तो ज्यादा है बट जस्ट मेनली 5 रसेस. माता जी प्लीज रीड द पर्पस एक्सप्लेनेशन.
Many compositions are there that can be sung but cannot be recited. Some can be recited but cannot be sung. But the speciality of this Adi Kavya is that it can be both sung as well as recited, and in both it is very melodious to hear. There are 12 rasas or spiritual moods by which one can connect with God. One cannot connect with God without these rasas. It is only by taking shelter in any of the 12 rasas can a devotee interact with God. There are 12 varieties of rasas: Raudra, anger; Adbhut, bewildering; Shringara,
Can
Madhurya.
anyone give me an example of Raudra rasa?
Hands.
Raudra rasa.
हिरण्यकश्यपु.
Okay, something more. रौद्र रस उससे भी अच्छा है. अभी क्या फिल्म ट्रेंडिंग है इसके लिए आप लोग वो याद आ रहा है.
हिरण्यकाक्ष.
जाम्बवंत. रौद्र एंगर कहाँ था? जाम्बवंत के साथ तो युद्ध लड़े. अरे when he went to attack भीष्म पितामह, कृष्णा got down and attacked भीष्म पितामह, चक्र लेके भागे ना, उससे से आज देखता हूँ कैसे तुम अर्जुन को मारते हो, आज तो तुमको खत्म कर दूंगा. That is actual रौद्र रस. मजा ले रहे हैं. अच्छा भक्त भी ले रहे हैं, भगवान भी ले रहे हैं. Both take. It's an enjoyment for both the Lord as well as for the devotees. So main is Raudra Ras. You have to give, mainly it is of Bhishma Pitama with Krishna. And Adbhut, bewildering, confusing. All the leelas with the Gol balls which Krishna did, most of them are bewildering, unimaginable. Then Madhurya, romance with all the gopis, with Radharani and all that. Hasya, comedy with Madhumangal and Sridhama, and many of the monkeys also used to make Ramchandra ji laugh. Know that? बहुत सारी कथाएं हैं जहाँ पे रामचंद्र जी used to laugh at those monkeys. It is said once Ramchandra ji, Sugriva and Lakshmana and few major people were sitting, Jamvan was sitting. And all the monkeys were sitting up. They were planning for the war. That time, all the monkeys were sitting on the top of the tree. But the problem was not that. The problem was unka sabka jo poonch tha, the tail, that was dangling in front of. So it was like a curtain between Ramchandraji and Lakshmana and Sugriva and his team. So immediately Lakshmana said, should I just cut off their tails? He said, no, no. I'm giving a nice enjoyment. See, they are so simpletons that they, in my love, they want to sit on my head and they want to listen what I'm planning for the war. And let's not do that. They are devoted to me. They are giving their life for me. Let's not do that. So comedy is there in Ramayana also. Of course, in Krishna Leela, lot of हास्य प्रसंग है, जैसे कि भगवान गोपियों के सामने नाचते हैं, छोटे से छाछ के लिए, थोड़ा से छाछ के लिए, थोड़े से मक्खन के लिए भगवान भी, कृष्ण भगवान गोपियों के सामने नाचते हैं. कुछ गोपियां उनको माधुरी भाव से देखती हैं, that is with conjugal love, and some gopis see Krishna as motherly, as a mother would see a child. Yes. तो हास्य हुआ, फिर वीर रस हुआ. वीर रस में आप इसको बता सकते हैं जामवन को. जामवन के साथ जो युद्ध हुआ, that comes under वीर रस. दया, मर्सी. किस पे दया किया उन्होंने? Come on, tell me fast. उपजा, very good. उपजा पे किया क्यों? पहले शूर्पणखा पे किया. In the earlier birth, Kubja was none other than Surpanakha. तो शूर्पणखा पे पहले कब्जा क्या कृपा किया? पहले शूर्पणखा को, Lord, it cannot be branded. Branded मतलब एक चीज में एक स्पेशलिटी रहती है. लॉर्ड का हर चीज में स्पेशलिटी. When Surpanakha came wandering, searching, Sita Maya was in the hut and Lakshmana was a little far off. Immediately, Ramchandraji showed his four-handed form to Surpanakha. See how he is inviting fights. Deliberately, he wanted to fight. He knew I have to kill her brother. So immediately he showed his four-handed form. Surpanakha like, oh wow, nice person. I should get married. Because Lord is all attractive. It be Krishna means jo akarshan karne wala. Rama means one who gives pleasure. So every name of Krishna or every name of God Vishnu is in some form or other attractive. So when Lord showed, immediately she fell in love with Lord. And she said, now I want to marry you. Because why she felt nice, but why she could not identify as God? Many people come to the temple. They spend some time and they tell me, many people come and tell me, sir, very nice. We felt very nice. बहुत अच्छा लगा. हमको इतना अच्छा लगा, इतना शांति है, इतना सुकून है. They are not describing the Lord. They are not describing anything. They are just saying we had a peace of mind. Why? Because they are not following devotional service and they do not understand mercy of Lord. So, Lord, he creates situations. Deliberately showed 400 form, but she was bewildered. She was bewildered. कि भगवान है कि कोई इंसान है, इसको कुछ लेना देना नहीं था. She only saw he is very handsome and I should have him. That is राक्षस बुद्धि. भगवान अगर आ भी जाए ना समझने के लिए, राक्षस क्यों समझ नहीं पाते? Whereas जो अच्छा इंसान है, a good person can identify God or understand the greatness of God. The reason is very clear. Unless until one doesn't have a guru in his life, one does not follow a spiritual path, even if Lord comes in front of you, you cannot identify. Duryodhana, throughout his whole life, right from the day one of his birth, like the Pandavas, was seeing Krishna. But till the end, he could not accept him as God. Whereas the same Pandavas, they accepted him as God. Why? Because they were connected spiritually. And this fellow did not have any spiritual inclination. He knew the Vedas, he knew the rules and regulations, fine. By knowing the rules and regulation doesn't make you one spiritual. Spiritual means you got to have that connection with God in one of these 12 rasas. That is very much. So then Daya, then Dasya, that is like a servant, especially Hanumanji. Then Sakhya, that is Arjuna. Then Bhayanak, horror. Where do you see horror? Horrifying. अरे अभी तो बोला हिरण्यकशिपु हिरण्याक्ष को मारने के लिए कौन सा अवतार लिया था? हिरण्यकशिपु को मारने के लिए he had taken the avatar of Narsinga. That's horrifying. Very horrifying. डर लगता है. Then Bibhatsa, shocking. Many times Radharani, he would come in front of Radharani, and Radharani used to just, come in front of him, and he is with Chandravali. Krishna is with Chandravali, and suddenly he sees, he's afraid. Oh, how did you see me? God hai bhai, you know everything. But he's enjoying that bhava. Lord says in the Vaikuntha, it is said by the Puranas, Ekoham bhaushyami ekaki na ramyate. I am alone, I am one. Let me expand to many. I am alone. मैं एक हूं. एको अहम, मैं एक हूं. बहुश्यामी, मैं बहुत सारा हो जाऊं. इसका मतलब क्या? हम सब इस हिसाब से ही हम लोग भगवान के अंश हैं. We are fragmental parts of the Lord, and that's why we have got that inherent attraction towards God. But three modes of nature cover the persons. Attraction, natural attraction, and he is attracted towards the materialistic things which are of no use. So that's why Lord says, Ekoham bhaushyami, ekaki na ramyate. अकेले क्या करूंगा मैं? बोर हो जाऊंगा. Suppose you are put in a very big, nice palace, all the best food, best bedding, best things, but you are all alone. You don't have anyone to talk to you. Also, no one comes and asks you before you get up. Your food is ready. Before you get everything is hot, nice, tasty. Everything is good. But what's the use? You get bored because you need someone to interact. The only difference is devotees interact with God, the non-devotees interact with the material things. They reject God and they try to enjoy themselves with materialistic things. But in both cases, one has to get connected. Let's say someone likes cricket, he gets connected to cricket. Someone likes going for movies. People like to go going to hotels and having a lot of food. That's why they call themselves foodies. What does this mean? They're connected to that. So through that, certain enjoyment they are deriving. So here also, if you want to derive enjoyment with God, you can do it only when you're connected. And connection is not possible without taking the rasa bhava. Without rasa bhava, it will be null and void. Nothing will be. So, Sakhya, Bhayankar, and Vibhatsa, shock, Shant. It is called Shantaras. Can anyone describe me what is Shantaras? Shantaras में आदमी कैसे जुड़ सकता है? शांत रहेगा बस. Oh, tell me.
Prabhuji, can I say?
Huh?
Prabhuji, the trees.
The trees, the plants, the stone, the mountain, everything is living, mind you. Jad and Jangam, we say. Jad matlab ye nahi ki wo जीता नहीं. We not interact with you. उसी पत्थर पे फूल पौधे उग रहे हैं ना. So they are not dead. Jangam, some may be mobile, some may be able to move, some may not be able to move, but they all have life. That's why हम बोलते हैं ना, ये पेड़ मर गया है. वे काट दो इसको, ये पेड़ तो मर गया. All the leaves fall off and it's like a dead tree. And sometimes we see a tree is nice green, though the tree may not talk to you and dance with you, but it is alive. So that's the reason why in these, all those trees in the Dandakaranya forest, there were none other than sages waiting to see Lord Ramchandraji on a one-to-one basis. And Ramchandraji is also walking through this forest and embracing each and every tree and crying, "Oh, where is my Sita? Did you see my Sita?" Sita to bahana tha. Actual काम क्या था? He wanted to embrace those devotees. So they also have got a different bhava. Shanta bhava is also there. Many people are there. They don't want to come and make themselves, very conspicuous. They don't want to show some shining. They are happy with their Shanta bhava. But don't think Lord is not watching. Lord is always watching. Even in a Shanta bhava, Lord says, okay, you are a tree in Dandakaranya. You cannot come to Ayodhya. Don't worry. I will come there and embrace you. Shabri was sitting there down south near Hampi, and he is in Ayodhya. From there, he went walking to our house. So, devotee means through some bhava, you have to get connected with God. Without a bhava, with God. But here, one question I would like to ask before I proceed. रस में और रास में क्या अंतर है? रासलीला किसे कहते हैं? हाँ? I could not hear. Please repeat.
रस में प्रभु जी भक्त भगवान को मतलब चाहते हैं, और रास में भगवान भक्त का राह देखते हैं.
वेरी नाइस, परफेक्ट. चलो, किसी को तो याद है मैंने जो सिखाया. वेरी हैप्पी. तो यस, जब भक्त भगवान की सेवा करता है वो रस भाव में करता है. कोई माँ समझ के भगवान को अच्छा भोग लगाएगा, बेटा खा ले, बहुत पतला हो गया, तो अच्छे कपड़े पहना देती हूँ. विंटर में हम लोग भगवान को स्वेटर पहना देते हैं. क्यों स्वेटर पहनाते हैं? ठंडी लगेगी. दिस इज ऑल रस भाव, वेयर गॉड डिड नॉट आस्क, you are doing of your own and getting connected with God, right? You may suppose knitting, you may knit a sweater and put it to God, or you may go to the market, take some efforts, spend some money and buy a nice sweater and put it for the Lord. N number of things. But basically here you are running behind God to get connected. But the day the Lord is satisfied with your service, the Lord is in love with you. God is always in love, but you have to love him in such a way that he expresses the love out of the box. So immediately, Lord, what did Lord do in Ras Leela? What did he do? He stood under that Vamshivat tree and played the Venu, the flute, which was individual message for each and every gopi with their individual names. ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने ऐसे बोल दिया, each and individual names से डाल के सबको बुलाया. And everyone came individually. So who called them? God called. That too at a very odd hours, midnight. In the middle of the night, he's calling and he's telling. Then he's telling, "Arey, why did you come? You all should not come. Young girls should not come in the forest in the middle of the night. Go, go, go." And the guy Gopi said, "Sorry, we cannot." Why? Because he wanted to reciprocate with the devotees at that time. So पहले कोई रास लीला सुनने की इच्छा मत करना, रस भाव का समझ. That is why when we read the charitra of all our devotees, भक्तों का जो हम चरित्र सुनते हैं, all these are nothing else but various rasa bhav. Like Kumban Das ji, he had a different rasa bhav. He was elderly. Madhav Das, he was a different bhav. Govind, he had a friendship sakhya bhav with him. So they are also Kaliyuga devotees only, but they are all, with them also, God was interacting with love and affection. Mataji, I request you to read the explanation.
Okay. But of the 12 rasas, the main 5 rasas which are permanent, which are predominant are Shanta, silent like a stone or tree; Dasya, servant-like; Sakhya, friendship; Vatsalya, parenthood; Shringar or Madhurya, romance. An example of the devotees in the 5 predominant rasas is Shanta Ras, is exhibited by those flowers and trees, thus serving the Lord. Hanuman is an example of serving the Lord in Dasya Ras. Arjun and the cowherd boys of Vrindavan are examples of Sakhya Ras. Mother Kaushalya and Mother Yashoda are examples of devotees in Vatsalya Ras. And the gopis of Vrindavan exhibit the Madhurya Ras. The further chapters will give us a more vivid understanding of these rasas. So if someone wants to read a book that contains comedy, horror, action, and so on, then it is better to read the Ramayana than to read some fantasy books or novels.
Yes, very true. Because there's a very nice dialogue between Shravan Kumar's father. There's no Shravan Kumar mentioned. The name is not mentioned in Valmiki Ramayan. It is there in Ramcharitmanas. It is more elaborately explained in Ramcharitmanas. So in Valmiki Ramayan, this dialogue comes when Shravan Kumar is killed, and Dashrath Maharaj goes and informs his father, Shravan Kumar's father and mother, that by mistake I have killed your son. So they tell, okay, please take me to my son Hari is lying now. So he takes them, and then looking at them, they speak such dialogues which are very much similar to our filmy dialogues. इस फिल्मों में जो बात करते हैं ना वैसे ही था. Why are you not speaking to us? Are you angry with us? Would you not like to see your mother? Then the father says, you may be angry on me, but you can at least speak to your mother. Why don't you speak to us? Definitely they know he's dead, right? But when you see those words, when you hear those words, when you read those words, you will feel, yes, पूरी film industry यहीं से चोरी कर. Our entire film industry has stolen their storyline, story format. It's all from the Ramayana. Generally story में होता क्या, हीरो हीरोइन होते हैं, एक विलेन आता है हीरोइन के साथ छेड़खानी करता है या उसको उठा के लेके जाता है, and then hero goes to the den, destroys, and hero doesn't go alone, he goes with his friend, okay, his best pal, and he goes there, then fights, there is a big fight happening, and finally his hero's friend also beats someone, the hero also kills the main villain and releases the heroine and comes back. This entire plot, of course, there may be variations, but the basic plot is stolen from the Ramayana. So yaad rakhna. Everyone wants to copy the Ramayana only. Please read further.
On a lighter note, we can observe that all the movies in general have the same storyline as that of Ramayana. There is a hero and a heroine, and the villain kidnaps the heroine. The hero goes to the den of the villain, kills the villain, and gets back the heroine. So one can say that the entire film industry has been inspired by the Ramayana. Furthermore, the greatness of Ramayana is that it can be sung on both happy and sad occasions and can be relished by both those who are knowledgeable and those who are ignorant.
It's the best part of it. Huh? This is the very best. There are uneducated people staying in the villages. Uneducated people. But even when they were listening to the Ramayana, when they are listening to the stories of Ramayana or see Ram Leela, they also enjoy. And big brainy, buddhijeevi is what we call them as. ये वो लोग भी रामायण पढ़ते हैं, they also enjoy. So this is something which is very unique. We may say, movie is meant for one segment. I have made this movie for general mass. Someone will say, I made for a class. I made for those artists, who understand, art movies. So various categories. Sometimes the fighting may be foolish. You go to South Indian, you have seen South Indian movies, Rajikant movies, jumping from the 10th floor, landing it on the bike, and it starts all type of, imaginary things. But bottom line is, all this are the plot kahin na kahin Ramayana se juda hua. Yes.
It is an ever young epic. Though people have heard the story of Ramayana many times, it is ever fresh and people want to hear it again and again, generation after generation. That is the greatness of Ramayana.
When I was a young boy, was in my school, a Ramayana serial came on the TV, and we used to watch. And every next scene is known to everyone. Like, next, how Ramchandra is going to break the bow. अभी तक ये एपिसोड में break नहीं किया, next episode में break करेंगे. Like, the next year, once a bow is broken, he is going to get married to Sita Maiya. And then he will come. Then Mathura is going to spoil the mind of Kaikai, and Kaikai is going to exile Rama. अभी तक हुआ नहीं ना exile, next week होगा. We know each and every step, but still we relish Ramayana. But if someone tells you the plot of a movie, Would you like to go and see that movie again? How many of you really relish it? Because the plot is already disclosed. The plot is already disclosed. Who is the villain? Who is the murderer? Who is the culprit? Everything is disclosed, and that's it. Once or twice max. You don't feel like watching a movie. Might be for the songs, but not for the storyline. Whereas the best part of Ramayana is the entire story is known to everyone. Listen, on a big bracket. Non-Hindus also know the story of Ramayana. But still, when it comes on the screen or it's come to reading or to attending the class, people still enjoy that. हाँ मालूम है सुपना का स्टोरी मालूम है ना काटा था but फिर भी we wait अरे अभी तक काटा नहीं ना we are waiting for that. So next scene we are anticipatingly and eagerly waiting what will be the next step, though we know the crux. So with this we go to the next verse number 10.
Yes, Prabhu.
The two were full of knowledge in music and expert in pausing and pitches. So this is a very important, शास्त्रीय संगीत का एक बहुत बड़ा एक अहम भाग है ये, that you should know when to pause, when to pitch, when to go for a lower pitch, when to go for a higher pitch. And the brothers were like celestial singers in appearance and were endowed with good voice. So these were the qualities they had. Not only they were devotees, not only they were cultured people, they were buddhijivis, knowledgeable, medavis, but still they had a good voice and they were knowledgeable in music and expert in pausing and pitches. मतलब शास्त्रीय गान में वो लोग expert थे. Then रूप लक्ष्य संपन्नो, they were charming in appearance and they were sweet voice. Madhura swara Hashino, in utterance, they were really in Madhuswar. Madhur means sweet voice. Then they resembled, they were like mirror reflection of each other. Twin brothers, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, दोनों जुड़वे हैं यार, समझ में नहीं आता कौन क्या है. एक दूसरे को as it is like one another. And they resembled God, Rama, in all bodily features, as if they were his own reflection. Means they had all the bodily resemblance with that of Lord Ramchandra. So these two princes had fully memorized every word of this best epic poem, which was fully on religiosity. Then they recited it without any fault. Now, first and foremost, why is Valmiki ji trying to describe so much about love and Kush's qualities, greatness? Why? इतने गुण संपन्न हैं बच्चे, इतना अच्छा मधुर वॉइस है, ये है वो है, इतना क्यों वाल्मीकि जी उनका डिटेल एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं? Yes, Puja Mataji, what do you think?
Prabhuji, because if you're listening to Ramayana or any other Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker also should be equally qualified. Even he should be a devotee. Otherwise, if he is a non-devotee, he will not get the benefit of hearing that scripture.
Forget about hearing. He cannot speak also.
Yes.
He cannot speak. The reason is, you to speak something about righteousness, you yourself have to be righteous and virtuous. आप और मैं अगर समझो दिन में 10 गलत काम करूं और आके शाम को मैं रामायण का कथा पढ़ूं या रामायण का सत्संग करूं, कुछ नहीं जाएगा. Because one who has understood the Ramayana or wants to understand the Ramayana or inculcate the Ramayana in his life will have to make himself righteous before he gives a talk on it. That is why Valmiki ji is emphasizing so much about the details about how these two princes were, how smart they were. They fully memorized the poem and which was full of religiosity and recited it without fault. Here fault doesn't mean only speaking. Here the fault also means about their own characteristic behaviors. अगर वो लोग खुद भी अगर characteristic features उनका सही ना हो, character सही ना हो, फायदा नहीं. No, that is why this is Treta Yuga. In Kali Yuga, everything is ulta. You know that, na? No, when I was in school, I was taught. I don't know. अभी school में सिखाते नहीं रहेंगे अभी. Money is lost, nothing is lost. Health is lost, something is lost. But character is lost, everything is lost. ये हमको स्कूल में सिखाया गया. और अभी भौतिक दुनिया में क्या, what is the position? If character is lost, nothing is lost. आप womanizing karo, shara piyo, all dirty things you do, and you are still considered great because you have a skill. Let's say you're a good singer, you're a good cricketer, you're a good, what do you say, engineer, whatever it is. You're earning good money, no problem. As long as you are doing all this nonsense, no problem, as long as you are having your skill and your money. बीच में आज भी हेल्थ वही जगह पे खड़ा है बेचारा. Health lost, something is lost. But today, in today's time, if money is lost, you are lost. You are lost forever. Even institutes don't recognize you if you lose money. Forget about individuals. What I'm trying to say here, money is important. But more than money is your character building. That's why today the problem in schools are, they're teaching you the good, best skill to earn money. But they are not teaching you the best skill for increasing or developing your character. In those days, people were uneducated, but they had character. Today, people are highly educated, but they don't know the definition of what is character. This is a fact of today's Kali Yuga situations. Okay, going over towards number 13. As instructed, the two boys who were in full knowledge then sang that composition in the assembly of sages, the twice born sadhus, with complete concentration. पूरा ध्यान से साधुओं के बीच में और ब्राह्मणों के बीच में वो गा रहा है. What is this assembly of sages and twice born and brahmanas and all? उनके सामने का क्या फायदा? वो लोग तो पहले ही भक्त हैं. What is the big benefit? Why should one know? Why did Love and Kush do that? Yes, who's going to answer? Fast. Yes, सुजाता माता जी, क्यों लव और कुश ने जाके साधु संतों ब्राह्मणों उनके सामने जाके ये रामायण गाया? उनको तो सब पता है भगवान के बारे में, पहले ही भक्त हैं वो लोग. साधु भी भक्त होता है, ब्राह्मण भी भक्त होता है, तो फिर उनके सामने क्यों जाके गाया?
Guruji, maybe because Ramayana is such a महाकाव्य कि जो liberated souls हैं उन्हें भी इसमें आनंद मिल रहा है सुनने में, इसीलिए.
ठीक है, okay.
For them also it's a, for them also
definitely a person who is a sage or a renunciate, for him it will be definitely enjoying something more. Your point is right, but not fully correct.
जी उनका access directly to the king होता है, so when they will say,
this is passion speaking. पहचान निकाल के अंदर घुसने का. Yes, somebody else.
प्रभु जी, क्योंकि संत और साधु एक जगह ज्यादा ठहरते नहीं है, तो नॉलेज स्प्रेडिंग के लिए मे बी हेल्प होगा. Maybe.
You all are trying very nicely, but that's not the true reason. The true reason why Love and Kush sang in front of the sages was they are the people who can bless him to do better work or improve himself. साधु संत ही जिसके बारे जिनको उनको इस चीज के बारे में ज्ञान है, वही इस चीज को पहला चीज they will recognize it or they will relish it. When you call a non-devotee and make him sit in a class, his focus is कितना बजे 9 बजेगा और मेरा क्लास खत्म होगा. When will that clock finish that 1 hour and the class will be over? He'll be just waiting for a chance to get out. Whereas a devotee would like to listen more about the Lord, though he knows everything. आज जितने भी लोग नरसिंह पिक्चर देखने गए, सबको पहली बार देखा, कोई पहली बार स्टोरी समझा, सुना, सबको पता था ना स्टोरी, नेक्स्ट सीन क्या होने वाला है सबको पता. फिर भी trying to rig relishment in that same katha. It's not that there was something different, unique. ऐसा नहीं, उल्टा नहीं कि हिरण्यकशिपु ने पकड़ के नरसिंह देव को मार दिया, कुछ चेंज इसमें स्टोरी में प्लॉट में चेंज नहीं हो सकता है। ये डे टू डे सीरियल्स में हो सकता है। आपका जो मटेरियल सीरियल्स है ना, उसमें एक हीरोइन जाएगी, दूसरी हीरोइन आएगी, एक हीरो जाएगा, दूसरा आएगा, those things may happen over there, but in spiritual the plot is fixed. But two things: one, those people relish it truly; secondly, they will bless in the future. Next verse, next class we will read how the sages will bless Lava and Kusha for setting very nicely, and with that empowerment only anyone can go ahead and progress in life. Generally हम लोग seen many preachers, they get the chance, कोई नया आदमी आएगा, पकड़ के पूरा फिलोसफी ऐसा निचोड़ देगा कि पहले दिन में बेचारा वो मर भी नहीं सकता, जी भी नहीं सकता, ऐसा हो जाएगा. First day, said by Acharyas, the fire of devotion is burning in everyone's heart. It's like a smoldering fire. चलता हुआ कोयला रहता है ना, बुझे, ऐसा लगता है बुझा हुआ है, पर हल्का सा वो धुआं निकलता है उसमें से. एंड अगर उसी कोयले को आप थोड़ा पंखे से हवा मारोगे ना, अच्छा लाल और फट करके आग पकड़ ले. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज, कुछ लोग ना पकड़ के इतना जोर से हवा मारेंगे, जो थोड़ा बहुत है वो भी चिंगारी बुझ जाएगी. दिस इज very common. I've seen this a number of times. The point is, if they sing in front of the sages, sages will appreciate and bless them, and with their blessings only can they, Love and Kusha, ever progress in life. So it is not only for Love and Kusha, it is for us also. If we are doing any service to the Lord, good, but that doesn't mean one should think himself to be greater than the sages also. We have to serve the sages, we have to serve the brahmanas, and we have to respect them in every aspect and take their guidance also. Even if you are perfect, there's no point, there's no harm if you take their blessings and guidance. So this is what Ramayana is trying to teach. That's why I said, last week we had this word, Veda Sampanno Parinishthito. Sorry, Veda Parinishthito. What does this mean? वेदों को पूरी तरह से हाईलाइट करता है ये रामायण. Mahabharata or Ramayana, they highlight the Vedas. And what way are they highlighting the Vedas? They are teaching us the various rules and regulations one has to follow, which is mentioned in the Vedas, but it is difficult for us to understand. तो इसके लिए उन्होंने अपने सामने एक कहानी के स्वरूप, एक इतिहास के स्वरूप में हमको explain. Okay, this I like to close today's session. Anybody has got any doubts?